Good afternoon. My name is Evan Carmen, and this is my colleague Janelle Doughton. We're from B'nai B'rith International. It's so great to meet you today. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to see us.
Well, thank you very much for coming to Congresswoman Cohen's office. What brought you here today?
So we're here to talk about HUD senior housing. How familiar are you with the Section 202 program?
With Section 202, I'm not very familiar.
Okay, well that's not a big deal. That's why we're here today. So the HUD Section 202 program is the only program expressly for low-income seniors. B'nai B'rith, we started our relationship with the program in 1971. We're proud to say that we have opened up buildings in 28 communities across the country in 16 states that help serve 5,000 people. What makes these buildings special, it's not just a building where seniors live and there's management and staff. There's also a service coordinator. And often the service coordinator connects the residents of the building with services in the community and allows them to age in place. Aging in place is a really big theme of the Section 202, of the 202 program, allowing seniors to stay in their homes instead of having to move to a more institutional setting. So I guess the reason that we're here today is to talk a little bit about, from a Congress point of view, how Congress fits into the equation. The residents who live in the building are very, very limited means. I'd say on average they make about $13,000 a year. So what's great about the program is they only have to spend 30% of their income on rent. The rest of the rent is subsidized through the federal government. And the money gets appropriated during the budget and appropriations process. So we certainly are hoping that the congressman will support the program and will ensure that the budget, that there's enough funds appropriated to ensure that everybody who lives in the building across the country can continue to live in buildings across the country. So that's certainly the way that the federal government and Congress fits into the picture and fits into the equation. Now to talk a little bit about why we're not just bricks and mortar is my colleague Janelle.
So, as B'nai B'rith is a sponsor of Section 202. We're not managing the properties, but as a sponsor, we do provide services. So we provide training for the on-site staff, that's management and service coordinators annually. And then we also have an annual conference that's for the management agents, so they're the ones that oversee the management of the properties, and the boards. So the boards actually oversee the property as well. They hire the management company. So we do those annually, and then every other summer we hold the B'nai B'rith Resident Leadership Retreat. And that is open to 2 residents from each of our senior housing facilities. And we take them to a B'nai B'rith youth camp for a week of not just leadership training, but also we do intergenerational programming. All the activities are designed that they can take them back to recreate in their communities. And that's what we are. We're building communities. Once the building opens, that's really just the beginning. So as a sponsor, that's part of our job, is supporting the boards, the on-site staff, and the residents in the buildings. Another thing I'd like to mention is that we would love for either a staff member from your office or the Congresswoman to visit the building. We can work with you and our building staff and boards to put that together.
Do you have any follow-up questions for us?
Yes, tell me a little bit more about the trainings that you provide. What topics do you typically cover?
Well, some of it is technical. Of course, HUD has their requirements and their handbook. So it's really updating any kind of HUD requirements. And then we also talk about programming. We've been working on especially scams that target seniors, making our building staff and boards of directors aware of what they are, but also how they can put on programming in their buildings so that our residents don't fall victim to these, and even extending it to the greater community, benefiting the community as well. We also, I think one of the important things about these trainings that we do in person is the networking aspect. People can learn from each other and share best practices, and that's really what it's about. Because again, it's a community, each building is a community, but overall, we bring our network together as a community.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and sharing everything about 202, from the residents to the protocol to the trainings, and I will certainly pass this along to Congressman Cohen.
Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you are a board member, property manager, or even resident who is actually conducting this visit, and just be prepared to share unique stories of your building that demonstrate the vital role affordable housing plays in your life.
Yeah, and that the staffer may ask, what is your role in the building? Whether, again, expand on whether you're a board member and what that means, management staff, service coordinator, resident.
Thank you.